Offer sight. To get rid of all that. I can't get rid of you. Boom.
First and foremost, this game was released on August 26th of 2002 in North America, nearly a year after the initial launch of the Nintendo Gamecube, which actually had some pretty decent launch titles at the time. Games such as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Super Monkey Ball, Crazy Taxi, and of course, Luigi's Mansion. It's not often that I see a Nintendo console released with a game centered around Luigi rather than their red mascot, but it was a nice change of pace. Considering it's the year Luigi for a few more weeks, I might consider reviewing this game in honor of our Green Plumber, but that's for a later date. In fact, I actually believe Super Mario Sunshine was initially supposed to be a launch title for the Nintendo Gamecube. However, I can't find any information that said the game was actually delayed, so meh. Speaking of meh, let's talk about the story to Super Mario Sunshine. After booting up the game, you're introduced to this lovely intro cinematic that eases you into the plot of the story. Mario, Peach, and Toadsworth are on a flight heading to the
sun-drenched tropical paradise of Isle Delfino
for a vacation. While watching this welcoming clip, however, Peach notices something very peculiar in the background. A shadowy figure that seems to be Mario. Must be coincidence. Upon having more than a rough landing upon arrival, they are greeted with a goopy mess on the landing strip, where Princess Peach once again notices the shadowy figure, but only for a second. Toadsworth, concerned for the princess's well-being, asks Mario to find some assistance. Mario then finds what is known as FLUDD, the Flash Liquidizer ultra-dowsing device, with the familiar mark of Professor E. Gadd. After a quick tutorial, you then proceed to clean up the goopy mess and reveal the first Shine Sprite in the game. Upon collecting the Shine Sprite, Mario then proceeds to be arrested by the Isle Delfino Police Department to be taken to his court trial. In the very flawed trial, Mario and friends learned that a shadowy figure with Mario's appearance had been defiling Isle Delfino, causing the Shine Sprites to flee, leaving Isle Delfino in darkness. Mario then sent it to clean the entire island of Mario's vile handiwork. Many stages later, Princess Peach is kidnapped by the shadowy figure and is taken to Peanut Park. After chasing down Shadow Mario, it is revealed that the true culprit is actually Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. then claims that Princess Peach is his mama and that Mario isn't going to take his mama away from him again. Bowser Jr. then makes his escape to the volcano with Princess Peach, and it's time for Mario to not only save the princess, but Isle Delfino. Finally, some familiar territory. With that being said, there's not much else to talk about in terms of the story, so now seems like a good time to talk about the gameplay. Well, first things first, we should talk about the controls. Now, to anyone who has previously played Super Mario 64, this is going to be a bit odd to you the moment you pick it up. Mario controls quite a bit differently than he did in Super Mario 64 due to the fact that he now has a companion on his back, FLUDD. The type of movement FLUDD allows required some of Mario's abilities from Mario 64 to be removed, most notably the long jump. Now, while this isn't necessarily bad, I can see it being something that annoys some Mario fans. However, I wouldn't really look too much into it, as FLUDD is quite helpful to your adventure, and after tinkering with its controls for a bit, you learn to start loving it. That being said, FLUDD gives Mario two default abilities, being able to hover in the air for a short amount of time while slowly gaining some altitude, and being able to squirt water out of his nozzle, which is your main means of cleaning and fighting enemies. FLUDD also has two other nozzles that you can't immediately use, as sad as that is. The rocket nozzle, which shoots Mario high into the sky, and my personal favorite, the turbo nozzle, which makes Mario run like hell. Something about it just makes me happy inside. Aside from that, FLUDD is actually quite helpful. In terms of platforming, FLUDD helps tremendously. Ever accidentally miss a jump? Of course you have, don't lie to me. Use FLUDD! This splendid device makes the game a lot more forgiving in a sense. Though don't expect it to always save you from failure, as it's specifically designed to help you only in a close pinch. The only way to save yourself in these situations is to get more accustomed to using FLUDD. The type of platforming this game allows for once you master the controls is pretty damn insane. Speedrunners, for example, master all the controls given to them in order to make better time clearing the stages. Spin jump, triple jump, dive jump, you name it. One of my favorite examples for this would have to be Snarfybobo, my favorite Super Mario Sunshine speedrunner on Twitch.
What? Well, It knew that my angle was bad, so I was like, don't worry, I got your back. I won't let you jump off me. Thanks, Bug. You're the best.
I must say, he's able to do some pretty insane stuff when he plays the game, though it also makes me feel like my skill at video games are insignificant in comparison, so meh. As for what you need to do in order to actually complete the game, that's a different story. In order to reach the final world of the game, you must complete 7 stages of each world, which means completing all the Shadow Mario stages. If you do not complete all the Shadow Mario stages, you will not be able to proceed to the final world. It's not about the total number of shines you have, unfortunately. I had to learn that one the hard way. As for the missions in between 1 and 7, it can all really vary. All of the missions are world specific, so the game doesn't ever really start to feel bland after a while. The only recurring missions in the game that feel semi-repetitive are the red coin missions and the Shadow Mario missions. However, even with the red coin missions, they can feel incredibly fresh and fun. Nothing ever seemed to be completely the same, as with every world they continually bring new things to the table that not only challenge your skill as a player, but entice you from the moment you enter the mission. If you're a completionist, however, you have your work cut out for yourself. The game is incredibly difficult to complete for various reasons. Secret stages, bonus stages, blue coins, you name it. These levels all vary in terms of difficulty and really require you to be good with the controls in order to complete them. There are 120 shine sprites to collect in Super Mario Sunshine. However, during your playthrough, you may notice you've collected 96 of them, that you are done with all the levels and hidden shines. This is due to the fact that 24 of the shine sprites can only be collected through one means: blue coins. The bane of my existence, blue coins is what makes this game an obscured mess to me. Are you ready for this? Every 10 coins is a shine. There are 24 shines that can be achieved by trading these blue coins, which means there are exactly 240 blue coins to collect. That's an outrageous amount. Even when you divide those into the number of areas into the game, it still leaves for a lot of coins per area. 30 for each one of the worlds, 20 coins in Delfino Plaza, and 10 coins in Corona Mountain. To be completely fair though, it's not that hard. With a guide. However, I applaud you if you're able to complete this without the means of a walkthrough, as some of these blue coins are in some of the oddest, most obscured possible places to be. The placement of certain coins are just odd and seemingly out of the way. You wouldn't ever think of finding them in certain areas without being tipped off by friends or the internet. Whether you collect all the blue coins or not, it's not necessary for completion and should only really be used to challenge yourself and give you a reason to return to the game. Which, to this day, I still find myself doing that quite a bit. The game is quite charming and it's wonderful to explore the many areas of Isle Delfino. The music and graphics accommodate the game nicely and it's fun to play through. Not many games in my collection have me coming back to it quite as often as Super Mario Sunshine has. It's definitely one of those rare titles that entice me from beginning to end no matter how many times I play through it. The game has its faults here and there and definitely wasn't a masterpiece when it came out, as it was glitched beyond belief. Though it is definitely something I would recommend picking up and having a play if you haven't already. I sincerely hope that Nintendo decides to remake this game at some point in the near future, as it'd be great to see the game in HD after all these years. The game doesn't feel like it's been aged in the slightest, and it still brings me a smile to this day. That being said, I'd recommend anyone to revisit or pick up this game if they haven't already. It's a fantastic game that definitely deserves a spot in your collection. Thank you so much for watching my first video. It means a lot to me. Really, it does. This video is actually a part of my double feature, of which I have uploaded another to Yaoshigruts, and you can find that video by clicking on the annotation somewhere. If you want to know when I release my next video, then you can click that little subscribe button. It works wonders, it does. You can also like me on Facebook or follow me on Twitter. Links in the description. I hope you all stick around to watch and help me improve, because goodness knows, I'm not perfect. I hope to see you all then.